trying to.
But actually even started like did you start from the beginning part or you started from the end? If you started from the beginning and you followed what the woman was saying, you were supposed to use the beginning part that you started from to build up like build up along the line with what she was saying.
Oh, okay. I'm just to the second video, so I've not started from the beginning.
Okay, okay, okay. The beginning was when I sent the file that was that you need to extract, right? So that was the beginning part. So is that fine? Can we proceed? Should I give you guys 20 more minutes to complete it for people that are still working on it? Then from there we'll not start from the beginning. If you all
Are we
agree
also going
that
to do, wait, are we also going to do the CSS part as well? Or just
yes,
HTML?
yes, you're going to do the CSS part.
Everything now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Much.
And why I'm allowing you do the CSS part is because eventually tomorrow we'll start CSS. So you can just like get an idea of how the CSS is, how it works before we
Give us more time now. Let's see.
okay. So I'll give us 20 minutes, like Taiwo suggested. Then after the 20 minutes, we'll take it over from the beginning. Okay. So let me give you more time. So far, we have spent like 10 minutes. So 10 minutes more, then we kick off from beginning.
Now I have a question. Oh. Can I ask?
Yes, you can ask. What's your question?
Okay, I sent the picture of my calculator, but I don't know the one the woman was doing has some table, is it box something inside, and mine doesn't have it.
So you are supposed to use a button, right? So you're
A
supposed to
what?
use a button element to design.
But it's not in like from the beginning now. What she was doing, I don't see any button code there now.
There's button code. Look at it very well. There's a button code that she gave all of it a class. A class name. There's a button code that she gave it a class name.
In the first div class wrapper now.
Yes.
I used it now. It's still showing the same. It's not showing.
Don't worry, in the next 10 minutes we would do the video. Like we'll do it
Okay.
together. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so who was able to do anything in this 20 minutes? Who was able to do something? Hmm?
I did though, but I'm not done yet. It's all this is confusing. Mine doesn't even look like it's just the board that is the safety board and the numbers.
Oh,
Doesn't look like
okay.
what the woman is doing.
So apart from Ijoma, anybody else? We're about to start it from beginning
I was
again.
able to do it too, but I'm not done. It's just aligning. Like I'm getting the shape of a calculator if I run it. So I'm not done.
Okay. Should I give you more time?
Yes, please.
No, let's start. Let's start. Okay.
Okay, let me give you an extra 10 minutes, then pick up from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, where is my own doing no
No, I need which one? Yeah, this is Tony gave me this. Thank you very much. I need to say thank you.
Mabel, are you talking to us?
Oh,
I've
sorry.
I've corrected mine. I've corrected it.
It's working perfectly now, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's great. In the next 2 minutes, we'll just start from the beginning. So for people that didn't understand what we've been doing since, this is an opportunity and a chance for you. So start it up from the very beginning. So let's get started. Let me share my screen. All right. So I'm sure everybody know how we got to this place, right? So let's not waste time here. Let's just start from the first place. So this was the first thing that was in our screen, right? So we just had this wrapper class, section class, screen, section class, calc button, this div wrapper class. So we wanted that from when she started teaching, she wanted that at the end we would have buttons, right? And these buttons are what's clickable. So we know how we what? Yes, we're giving a class work, Fatima. So you know how we add buttons, right? So what are our buttons? So the place that has screen, this is the output we're expecting. I don't know if anybody, okay. This is the output we're expecting. Yeah, we're expecting this output, right? So if we're expecting this output, if you look at this closely, you can see the first line is what? The first line is just only 0 and there's a blank space. Then the third one, there are 3 rows. In the 3 rows, we have what? C that is combined to 2 rows. Then the arrow sign and divide button. Then the next one, we have 4 rows, which include 7, 8, 9, and X. Then the next row, we have what? 4, 5, and 6 and minus, right? Then after that, we have the next row, which is what? 1, 2, 3, and plus. Then the next one is now 0 and equal to. So for write the markup for that. So for us to write the markup for that, we would have all our words. You know, initially it was what div class equals to wrapper, then selection class equals to screen. So that's the screen. So in this screen, the only thing that will be here is what? The 0. Like we have here. So just come here and put 0. That's the only thing we will have here because that's the first screen. That's what's here. That's what's here, right? So we've done the first line. So we want to move to the next one, which is C. The arrow is going like this, and what's the division? So for the next one we'll do is that in the calc buttons, the ones that would select, we want to do a row class for all these calc. So do the first section, right? So in this first section, you can see what they say, what div class, then calc button. So it's a div class, not a section, sorry. So declare a div class. So in this div class, we'll give it a class name. And the class name will be what? The class name will be called calc row. Right? So after that calc row, okay, calc button row. So we'll pick the first row. The first row is what includes that C and that arrow. So can you see? It's what includes that C and that arrow. I'll show us how they got this and LARR and divide. If you check the group chats, the video, you would have seen how she did it, but I'll also show us here. So the next one is to put the button in everything. So we'll do the button now. So let's put the 3 buttons. Then the last button. Oh. So then we'll give each and every one of it a class name. So yeah, so that's the class name, right? So in between this class, we want one to be what? C. Then we want the arrow and let's check the picture and division. So to get this divide and to get this arrow, so that's this thing we'll use. The method we'll use.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you mute yourself? If you are still with me, can I get a thumbs up? Can you give me a thumbs up in the group chat? Okay. I can see 3 thumbs up. Okay.
Hey, this semester, never let him do my no serious anything. So some of the things I just what's the pleasure? Please, any it has two drive. Right. Go to drive. You see just two. Just print all
the principles there. What if this one? No. But now the assignment I get those guys. What are the principles? Marie.
Make the day waiting.
I want to move print something. Make the name with you talk now. Very television for very.
Oh.
You forgot something.
Bros,
Yes.
I want to ask this
Should we go?
I feel divide two sections, three sections for one letter.
I don't really know.
What do you know?
All I know is all the department of
Print it, I go put 20 naira. Any print I'm
what you want?
I want to edit this. Go print it now.
What are you?
I want to put three sections.
What are you?
There is one that is here.
I want page.
That's the one. No, that's why they don't print for me.
You can send them. How many tries?
That's two. You see, I go print some. Yeah.
Yeah. What are we editing?
I just want to add.
Every addition or deletion that.
Don't put it in the only price for it. They're gonna
Mute yourself. I hear everything. That's
What are we editing?
it's just to add. That one will just have 20 17, 20, 18.
No, exam of 2019, 2020 bar.
They
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm sorry, my network. Someone was calling me.
Okay,
And
no
after
problem.
that, everything just scattered. Okay, so let's continue what we're doing, right? So we're trying to, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Like
ma.
ages. Okay, so we've kept the words divide and the other one. So let's do the next div, right? So we want to do the next div row. So let's give all these classes name. So say this one is cow button. This one too is cow button. And this one also is calc button. Right? So because this one is going to collect 2 rows, we can see it from here. Can you see? It's taking 2 rows. So because it's taking 2 rows, so say you should do what? Double. That's for the C. So we've done the first row. So I want to do the second row.
Sorry, please, I have a question.
All right.
Yeah, please, where do we have that ampersand
So we have
in
that
between the
ampersand.
second? Yes.
Normally we don't have divide and that arrow, on our keyboard. So that ampersand is supposed to help us achieve that. Let me run it so you see it. So can you see it?
Yes.
Can you see the divide and the ampersand? The divide and the ampersand is for us to get this divide. It's not on our distance screen. If you watch that video that I sent, you would have seen it from there, right? So we want to do another cow. So it's just the HTML we're writing. We'll still write the CSS. So we'll put this time around, we'll use 4 buttons because there are 4. So we'll not use 3 the way we use 3, we'll use 4. And the 4 includes what? The next line, which is 7, 8, 9. So put 4. So the first one is 7. Next one is 8. 9. The last one is 5. So write times. So can you see it? These are the times. So in between here, we'll now put our cow button. Give it a class. class name is what? Carl Button. So can we see that? So let's reload. So we've done this next line, right? So the next line, we'll add another row. So we can just copy this to just edit. Since it's like kind of like the same format. This one too is 4. But this time around, it will not be 7, 8, 9. It will be 4, 5, 6. It will be 4, 5, 6 and minus, right? Five and 6, right? So yeah, we want to do what? We want to do what? The next one we'll do here is what? Minus. So is either we do this or we use the minus sign. There is the minus sign or we do this, either of that. So the next one is the next row, right? I'm trying to indent properly. So this is when your validator will come in handy. If your this thing is not properly arranged, your elements, if they are not properly arranged, your validator comes in here and helps you properly arrange it. And don't forget, the limitation of a validator is that, one, it does not know if the element is wrong, and it will not help you see if it should have a close tag, right? His own work is just to arrange it. You just arrange what he sees, and that's all. It cannot help you solve your problem literally if you're having issues. To not tell you that, okay, this is where you should place your elements, that's not where you should place your elements, and all of that. So this place is what? 3, 1, 2, 3. So these are parts that have 1, 2, then 3. And this last times, instead of times, to be what? Addition, add. Either you use this. Is either you use this or you use the addition sign, right? So you can use the addition sign. So it's plus. So now this is all we have. Okay, number 3 is not showing very well. Can you see why it's not showing? I didn't open my closing tag properly. So yeah, so this is what we're trying to achieve. So you still remain one part, you still remain this 0 and the equal to. So we'll try to do for the 0 and the equal to. Compared to the one previous, it has 4 columns, right? So on this row, it's just only 2 columns, it's not 4 columns. I can remember when we had 3 columns earlier, can remember what we did. So we'll do the same thing again. So we'll go to our Visual Studio Code, go to our div class. Right. So we'll give the div a class. Called button. Then the calc button row, we have just 2 buttons here. The first button and the second button. So the first button is what has the 0 and it is going to contain 3 rows, and the second one contains the equal sign, right? So we'll give it a class. Calc button. We also give this place a class. Also calc button. This one has 0. And this one here is equal to. So because this one is taking up 3 places, you know, when that other one up here was taking up 2 places, we had what? We had single, but this one is taking up 3 places, so we have double. So come here and write what our double and triple here. And let's run it. So can you see that? So we successfully, all right. So we successfully built the markup, right? So this is how the markup is. So now we're about to put the design. We're about to style it. So we'll link it to the CSS. We'll link it to the CSS. So from here we can see that there's already, this is the name. Yeah, so can you see the CSS here? Calculator.css. Calculator.css. So it has been linked already. So they will use an external, right? So for this external that we use, just ensure that it is linked properly. You can see that is in a folder called CSS. And the CSS is called what? Calculator.css. So we've linked that. So they've designed HTML. They say you should have a box size in border box. Before and after, you should inherit that border box, right? Then we are now doing the body. They said the body should have padding 0, margin 0. Then the wrapper. Don't forget that this wrapper is the name of the class name of this div class. So it's this div class wrapper that has all of this section to this place, all the section elements is in a div class, right? Called wrapper. So we say the wrapper should have a width of what? 40 pixels, right? So can you see that? So that is, so it's 40 pixels like this. That's why it's this short and this small. So we expand on it. So we want to give it a background color, which is black. From here, can you see? This first line is black. So we want to give it a background color black. And we also want to make the borders black too. So all of the buttons, borders, and that top parts, we want to make it black. So say the wrapper, the color should be what? The background color should be black, and the color in it should be what? White. Then for the screen, the color too should be white. The font size should be 40 pixels. We are also going to give it a font family. Don't worry, we understand all of this better. That's all this CSS part better next week. This week, we're going to start off CSS properly this week. So it's okay if you don't yet get it. And if you can remember when we started earlier, throughout last week, we already seen some of all these things in the HTML, right? So that's a stretch. Then for the calc button row, don't forget we gave all of this a class name. So the class name, that's what we're styling here. So that class name we gave them, that's what we're styling here. So we're not saying that the class name should have a background color, this, then a color of what? Black, an height of 100 pixels, then flex bias should be 24.5%, then the border should be what? None. Are you guys still with me? The triple is supposed to show, see mine. So can you see it? Don't worry, you get to see it very well. Then we have the curl button. Then we'll do for over, that is if you over around your button, how should it look like? Then we'll now style the double and triple. We'll make the double and triple class that we gave it. We'll say the flex basis should be 49.7%. That's how long it should be. And the triple should be 74.8%, right? Then we'll do the cow button last child. Cow button last child over. Don't worry, you guys will get to know all these things very well, especially this CSS. You guys have not done it before, so it will be looking weird and strange. But don't worry, don't worry. By tomorrow, they won't look weird and strange. And why all of them start with dots is because they are class names, right? So because they are class names, they start with dots. Why are you lost, Taiwo? What's the problem?
I got up to the point of the template on the HTML, but I got lost when you started the CSS part.
When you started doing what?
When you started the CSS part.
Actually, you'll not really understand the CSS part because you've not done CSS, so you don't know what I'm doing. But this is the end product, right? And if we hover around it, can you see? It's hovering around. You can hover around it. But I'll take our time to explain it very well again. That's the CSS part. So the first part, whenever you want to do a website, build a website, the important thing you should learn to do first, which is also good practice, is that you should learn and try to write the HTML. So when you've written the HTML, you will now build on the words, on the CSS, but get the markup right. When you've gotten the markup right, you can now build on the word CSS. So I've shown us how to build the markup for the HTML. So now the CSS part, I'll just take the CSS part again. So maybe you understand what I'm trying to do. So pay attention to our calculator here, right? If you notice, most of all these elements here, they all have class names, right? So it's the class names we are going to style and we're going to design in the next place. So for the class name, see this first div, we say everything should be wrapped in a wrapper. So this is the wrapper, right? And everything is wrapped inside, right? Then the screen, that's the first part. So if you come to our CSS, after we design our HTML, normal HTML elements, normal body, then we started designing the class name of all those elements that we gave. So the first class name is wrapper, right? So we gave it a width of 400 pixels. We said it should be that long. Then we gave it a background color of what? Black, and color of white. So what that just did was that it made everywhere here black. So all the old div elements here is automatically black. Then the color, which is this text color that is in this black background, is zero.
It's white.
I mean, it's white. Sorry, it's white. So we now went to the next part. The next part that we gave a class name is what? Screen. So we want to style this screen, right? So for the screen, we now want to style this screen to look exactly how we want it to look. So we gave a color of what? White. We gave a font size of 40 pixels. Then a font family. Don't worry, I'll show you how to do all these font size, font family in CSS tomorrow when we start. Then we did text align right. Then I'll show you what the text align right did. The text align right allowed your zero go to the right. You know, normally the zero was somewhere here. Let me remove the text align right so you see it. So this is how it is at the left. But because you kept text align right, it moved from this left to what? To the right hand side. That is for the screen. If you notice, we're on the what? Screen class, right? So we are on the screen what? Class. Then we gave it a padding. Don't worry, I'll explain what padding, margins are. All of those things are box model. They are in CSS. No need to worry if you don't understand most of all these things. You get to see them and you understand that, oh, okay, these were using them yesterday, blah, 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 blah. So now the next class we're going to, now after the screen, is this class called call buttons, right? So it was the call button that was in there, call button rows. And the call button role is what we use for every row. So we came here and we styled it. So we said this call button name should display a flex. Then it should align content. The thing should stretch. That is, it should be based on the content. That's what this align content is. Based on how the content is, that's how it should stretch. Then it said justify content. There should be space in between them. Then they gave it a margin bottom, right? A margin bottom of 0.5%. Then after that cal rows, they now did all this button. Then they gave all this button what? Cal button. So all this cal button that they gave the name of the button, they now styled it. That was the next thing. So they gave it a background color. Then they gave it a color of black, a particular height, a flex bias, a border, border radius, font size. So let me show you something. If I remove this, you see where the style was used. So can you see? I guess I should be removing the style so you'll be seeing the state it was, right? Before the style was added. So this is the state it was. This is how it was. So you now want to like increase this buttons for it to look more presentable and give it more width and give it more height, right? So we now gave a background color. Then we now said the color should be black. But before we gave the background color, you could see that normally the background color was black, because from here, we've already told you that the background color should be black. From the wrapper, you said that the wrapper background color should be black. So now for each of the buttons, we're now saying that each the background color, we now give it another background color, right? This code. Then we now said the color, that is the text on it, should be what? Black. Then we gave it a height of 100 pixels. It should be bigger. Then we gave it a flex basis. So after the flex basis, we gave it a what? A border. Then a border radius. We said none. So it's not showing any border. We said the border should be none. Then we said the cursor should be a pointer. Then the font size should be 40%. Then when we reload this, can you see it? So all the old buttons is in what? 40% pixels. So can you see that? Sorry. Then we did an over button. So what an over button just does is that it enables you that when you are clicking on a button, when you hover around it, can you see the hover color is different from when it's not being hovered around? That is, when your cursor is over it, it should give a particular color. It's brighter than the original color, right? So then we have our what?
Yeah, bro.
If the button is active, can you mute? Can you mute
You're on
yourself?
class now, my desktop. I know not you come in, I know no see you says today call.
All right, so let's continue. So we said when the button is active, it should also have a particular color. Then we now gave a class name for this double here. Can you remember that we gave a class name for this double because the thing was we wanted it to cover 2 rows, right? So for the 2 rows we wanted it to cover, we are now styling those 2 rows. We gave this one double, then we gave the other one what? Triple. So this one is triple. This one was not written very well. That's why no wonder this triple is not yet working. It is not in between where it's supposed to be. Yeah. To work perfectly now.
You didn't close it.
It's closed. So yeah, so we've made that triple, right? Hope you guys are not confused. Have I confused you?
No.
Are you
Ma, can I ask
sure?
a question?
Yes, you can ask a question.
Can the calculator, after I finish doing it, can the calculator, can we use to calculate something?
Not yet now. I've not made it functional. We're just doing the HTML and CSS. Don't forget, we're just doing the design. It's just like I always say, HTML is what the skeleton, and CSS is giving life to the skeleton. You can remember when we did the HTML, it was looking very skeletonized, if there's a word like that. It didn't have any life. It was just there. It didn't have any design. There was nothing that was making it pretty. It was not fine. Let me use that word. It was not pretty. It was not fine. Nothing. It was just there. But the moment when we kept the CSS, what happened? It changed, and it began to look more like a calculator. Before, it didn't look like a calculator. It was just there, right? So it's just the HTML and CSS. So I didn't complete my statement of saying that HTML is a skeleton, CSS, HTML is the skeleton, CSS is the flesh that is giving life to that skeleton, and JavaScript is what makes that skeleton move. So if it's that when we learn JavaScript, it's JavaScript that enable us to make this calculator function and work the way it ought to. That is when you say 5 plus 6, it will give you a result. When you say 2 plus 3, it will give you a result. It's your JavaScript that is responsible for that, right? But yeah, what we're doing now is just the design. It's just the HTML and just the CSS. And I just use this to show you how the CSS works. We've not gone in details into the CSS. I'm going to show you in details starting from tomorrow. So today, you can take up time to just read about CSS properties, right? So your assignment today, just read up on CSS properties, and by tomorrow, tell me 15 new CSS properties you've learned. There are a lot of CSS properties. So just check the CSS properties and tell me 50 that you've learned, right? So what this calculator is just doing is that it just designed it and it's just making you over around it. But if you click on it, if you click on your buttons, they are not functional. The buttons are not functional. They are not doing any functional thing, right? This 0 is not yet working. This 0 is supposed to work. Can you see how it is? It covered these 3 things, this multiple. But at my end, it's not covering it yet. It just only covered one place. I want it to cover these 3. Want it to cover these 3 places. Yes, you're going to
up.
JavaScript. You will do JavaScript.
That 0 up is it should be in the screen. That screen now.
No, apart from the screen. That's the screen. The 0 down is when you want to click on 0.
Okay, the one down. No, that one up is
Okay. I didn't place this well. It's supposed to be in this 0 button here. This is the one you're going to click. This 0 here is the one you're going to click on when you're trying to write the word, right? I didn't do that correctly. Yes,
moved.
This is how it should be. So it's taking up 3 places here. Then we have our equals to, right? Then they now did some other things. If you notice, right, if you look at this calculator very well, you realize that this last place has a different color, a background color, and a different color, a different background color and a different color than this remaining column. right? So what we
Yes.
used to achieve that was that we said we called calculator cow button dot last child. So we said in this
Last.
cow button, the last child.
Okay.
Look at this place. Look at all the whole row. So the last child in this, in each of all this row, which is this last line, right? In this case, which is this last line in this place. Though the general name is cow button. So we're now specifying which of the cow button we want, which is the what?
The
Last
last.
child, right? So when I say the
Yes.
last child, we now gave it a particular color, background color, and normal color. That is why this last part here is different from this rest. Though now I'm making it look easy. It's not this easy. When we start doing CSS, you understand. You understand all of these things better. But at the moment it's looking easy, but it's not that easy. Then we now want to make it active. If you hover around it, there's a particular color you should give. And when it's active, it's another color you should give. Then made it a padding. We gave the padding button to be 0. So it's that simple. It's very, very simple actually. That's if you know your CSS. If you know the CSS, it's easy to navigate it and to get it. So we have our calculator. So we just only designed this. We have not what kept this to action. This thing cannot perform any function yet. It's just like a newborn baby. You know, when you give birth to babies, it's not all the babies that can walk, move, that can carry out a function. Let's just look at it in that light, right? They cannot yet move, they cannot yet walk. It's until when they've grown. But in this case, it's until when you add your JavaScript, right? Before your buttons become functional, before they start to carry out instructions and functions and do what they want. So any questions so far? Is today's class somehow? I want to know. You guys should talk to me. Was today's class
I have a problem with my own.
Yeah, so this class is somehow
I said
no,
earlier.
but it's
Can
interesting.
you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Miss, can you hear me? I said earlier. I said I couldn't load mine
Okay.
when I was debugging.
Okay.
When I was running it, it didn't load on the Chrome. So I don't know
Okay,
what's happening.
okay, share your screen. Maybe it's an issue. You can see that means I had an issue. I didn't put my triple in the right place. Maybe it's just
Okay.
like you didn't implement it
I'm
well,
going to.
or
Okay.
you're missing something that is not making it run the way it should. So share your screen. So
Okay. I'm trying to share it. It's not sharing.
So we're just even 21. Not everybody that is here, but is it clear? Does everybody get what you've been trying to do all day?
Yeah, but my kid
Please, can you make me co-host?
Okay, Peace, you are raising up your hand. Or Peace, were you raising up your hand?
Is it my own piece?
No, Peace. Oh, you were. No, she wasn't. She wasn't.
No, I wasn't. Sorry, maybe it was a mistake. I'm fine.
Alright.
Please make me a co-host so that I can share my screen.
Yeah, I've made you course,
Okay.
so you can share. I've made you course.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can. I can see your screen.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mima,
Yeah.
So I can't. Let me try and run it.
Okay.
excuse
Okay,
me,
so
ma.
I'm running-
Can I take permission to go? Like, I need to go and do something now. You've given the assignment, right? We're going to read up on CSS, right?
Yes.
Is that the only assignment?
Yes. Someone was having this issue. Yes, that's the only assignment. And you just tell me 50 properties. you
Okay.
learned in the course of you reading CSS. Like in what are
All
the
right.
elements? You just list
Thank
them
you,
out
ma.
the way you listed the HTML elements. So Anu, I get the problem
Yes, I can hear you.
directory, like how it is linked, right? So what you just do is that
Okay.
don't open it from here. Go to your file.
Okay.
Go to your file, then double click from where it is saved. So that will be better.
It's not opening.
Go to your file, like I meant File Explorer, not your Visual Studio Code. Your file,
Okay.
place where your documents, your downloads are.
Okay.
No, not there, not there. Not through your Visual Studio Code. Not even there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
This File Explorer down here, where you have your files. No, the one beside that mic. No, the other one by the side. Close your Microsoft Edge.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Find
Here.
your File Explorer. So where did you save the image? Where did you extract that 5 GB?
I extracted it from my.
Like into
From,
where? Where did you extract it to? Did you extract it to your documents?
yes, to my web. What's it called?
So open that folder where you extracted it to. Okay. Oh yeah, open that folder. Oh yeah, double click on
Okay.
this one. Yes.
Okay. I've been able to see.
It's not running from there because it's not properly linked. That's why I'm saying.
Okay.
If you want to run it, when you've made changes and you want to
Okay.
come to where it's saved, then run and make changes. So this is the HTML format. So from the
Okay.
HTML format, where you add your CSS, you are going to give it live.
Okay.
So do you get that? Do you get that, Anu? Anu, do you get that? Okay. So any question? Any question?
No.
All right. Are we sure? Do we all get what we are doing today and the assignments? Okay.
The link is sent to us and complete my own calculator.
Okay. All right.
Is it possible that the recording of today's class be sent today?
It sent what?
I said, is it possible that today's recording is sent today?
I don't know. That's not in my. It's not in my.
Yes, it will. By evening, it will be ready.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So any question? You guys should ask me questions. Oh. Ronke, do you have something to say? Do you have any question? Okay, so
So I
since
don't have any.
okay, now I'll ask people questions. So in today's class, in adding your CSS, right? What do you think they did to link the CSS to the HTML? What did we do to achieve linking the HTML to the CSS? I'll call anybody if nobody's volunteering to talk. Okay, external link, yes. External link. Link tag, yes. And the link tag will have what? The href, right? And the rel that has the style sheets, and the href will have the link that you're using to link. Thank you, peace. But apart from that also, right? If you want to style using class, how do you style if you've given it a class name? How do you go about doing that in your CSS? Hmm? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
So I asked the question.
What was the question?
So the question was that if you want to add your if you want to add your if you want to add a class, like you want to style a class, you want to style a class in your CSS, how do you go about styling that class in CSS? What do you use? Like, what's the syntax? Yeah, thank you, peace. Dot class name, then curly brackets. Don't forget, when I spoke about CSS last week, I said CSS is a declaration, right? You're making a declaration that consists of what? A property and a value, right? So you're declaring a property and you're giving it to a value. So there are different types of properties. The way in HTML, there are different type of elements, there are different type of properties. But in CSS, our elements are called selectors. Our elements include selectors, our class name, our ID names, right? Whatever we want to design from our elements from HTML is called selectors in CSS, right? So yes. So anybody wants to give me a recap quickly? Anybody? Anu, please, can you give us a recap of this class, what we've done throughout today? So Anu and Oziomachi. So can you give us a recap? Can you hear me? Are you there? Can you guys hear me? Please, if you can hear me, drop a emoji in the group chat, even if.
We can hear you.
Okay, that means Anu and Oziomachi can hear me. I said you should give a recap quickly. Let's do that. Are you guys there? Oh yeah, oh.
I'm sorry, I was attending to something earlier.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
talked about, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We talked about the validator. Yes, we talked about the validator. Then we said something about in order for us to avoid distorted images, that we can resize our images.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
On the image resizer.
Yes.
And then, okay. And design the calculator. I think that's what I can still remember for now.
Yeah, actually, those were what we did. All right. Thank you so much for that recap. And please, tomorrow, let's come with extra energy. I don't like today's, like the kind of energy and vibe you guys give me kind of affects how we flow in the class, right? So please, tomorrow, come with extra ginger, energy source, everything nice, because we are moving into CSS. And for CSS, we need all those ginger. Please, whenever I ask questions, please, you guys should reply. I'm begging you. I'm not even doing shakara. Like, I'm not even doing shakara at all. Please answer tomorrow. All right. So I guess that's all for today.
Hello, sorry, I was locked out.
Oh, okay. That's Ozioma, right?
Yes, Ozioma.
I was like, you should give a recap because I noticed that you and Anu was like fully engaged in the class throughout today. So I thought you should give me a recap of all that we did today.
Okay, I think we didn't do much. Okay, like when I joined was when you were checking the ones that did the assignment. So, and then after that, you now said we should do, you gave us the link to that calculator stuff and then asked us to download and then start our own. And we now went on break and then came back and started with this stuff. So there was no much, just the.
But you didn't mention validator. We did validator. I showed you about validator, how to use validator. I told you about how to resize.
Yes, you did actually.
That was before we went on break. Then I gave you a classwork. The classwork was supposed to be the calculator.
Okay, yes,
And they're
you
supposed
did.
to ask me any questions on HTML. And on HTML, because today is the last time we'll be treating it, but I didn't get any question. So that was how the class went. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
All
So
right.
that's all for today. We'll continue tomorrow. So please, tomorrow, come in with your energy, spice, and everything nice. I'm begging, please. You guys should not dull my energy tomorrow because we are going into.
Attendance.
Can we what?
Attendance.